Hello, Libras. Welcome to our monthly zodiac reading for the month of July 2025. We have a lot to get into this month, so let's get started. As always, we will pull an overall energy theme for the month. We will pull tarot for each week. We will clarify that with more tarot, as well as correlate those messages to the astrological transits, and then we will wrap it up with some additional oracle guidance. So let's see what you guys need to know for the month of July. Reflect on your truth. This always makes me feel like, what does something mean to you? If there's an issue going on in your life, what does it mean to you? Reflect on your truth without the influence of someone else, right? This is about self-reflection and self-acknowledgement in accessing your belief systems and your values. Okay, let's see what the weeks have in store. Here in the first week, the Six of Swords. Here in the second week, the Tower. Here in the third week, the Nine of Swords. Here in the fourth week, the Ace of Wands. Okay, so the first couple weeks of the month could probably feel a little tumultuous. There's a lot going on within the mind. There's probably truths being revealed, revelations being had, or even unexpected changes due to the Tower. Here in the first week, we have Venus making a conjunction with Uranus. So Venus, your ruling planet, the planet of love, beauty, aesthetic, money, value, art, is making a conjunction, or is having a more positive aspect or positive conversation with the planet Uranus. The Uranus is known as the great disruptor or the great awakener. So it's having a very maybe heartfelt conversation right before it moves into the sign of Gemini. Venus, this could be that with the Six of Swords, there needs to be something that you are moving on from, something that you are choosing to let go of and leave behind. This is either a narrative that you tell yourself, a story that you tell yourself, a story that you believe about yourself, or even others, but there's something that is causing stress and anxiety, and it's something that you need to move on from, something that you need to leave behind. Venus will then be moving into the sign of Gemini. Gemini for you guys sits in your ninth house. This house is the house of higher learning. This is your house of philosophy and spiritual beliefs, your moral belief systems. It rules the things like law and order, long distance travel, right? So maybe you need to go on a trip. Maybe you need to take a trip to allow yourself to just escape. I don't necessarily like to use the word escape, but if you've been struggling, if you've been feeling burnout, a lot of stress, it may mean that you need to switch things up and move to and just go on a trip, right? Go on some sort of trip, leave something behind. This is also when we will have Neptune going retrograde within the sign of Aries. Neptune is the planet of boundlessness. It is the planet of illusion and delusion. It is the planet of dreams, escape, and unconditional love, and even spirituality. So when this energy goes retrograde, it is going to be directed inward. So this could be that maybe the trip you need to experience is one that goes within, because I noticed that I said going on a trip, but we've got a lot of water here. And with Neptune going retrograde, Neptune rules the ocean. So maybe this is going in and reflecting on your emotional state. Why do you feel the way that you feel about certain situations. Why are you feeling how you're feeling right now at this particular moment in time? Here in the second week, we have the Tower. Like I said, unexpected changes. This could come in the form of a revelation. This could come in the form of truth, or this could come in the form of literal physical change in your environment, in yourself, something that just kind of changes and shakes things up. This is intended, anytime we have the Tower, this is intended to force us out of our comfort zone, so to speak. This is the week that Uranus moves into Gemini. Even though the Tower card is ruled by Mars, I always associate this energy with Uranus because it definitely resonates more along those lines with me. But Uranus is moving into Gemini, so it could be that Uranus moving into Gemini is going to be shaking things up for you again, specifically around your 9th house. But we also have the full moon happening in the sign of Capricorn on the 10th. Uranus moving into Gemini is happening on the 7th. So we definitely have this. You could even experience some sort of new, profound spiritual awakening because this is happening in your house of higher learning. Uranus, like I said, is known as the Great Awakener, and it's happening on 7/7. 7 is a very highly spiritual number, right? So you going within, taking this deeper look, reflecting on your truth could actually create a profound awakening moment for you. Like I said, we've got a full moon happening on the 10th in the sign of Capricorn. This is your 4th house. This is your house of home. This is your house of emotional safety, your physical safety. This is the house of the mother. This is the house of ancestral roots and foundations. So with a full moon, there's going to be a buildup of energy. It's going to trigger our emotional body, and then it's ultimately going to reveal what we need to release. So this could be having an impact on you as well. Here in the third week, we've got the 9 of Swords. This is a lot of fear, worry, anxiety, a lot of ruminating and repeating thoughts. Okay. So here in the third week, Saturn, the planet of structure, discipline, the planet that is known as the taskmaster or the timekeeper, the planet of karma, is now going to be going retrograde within the sign of Aries. Aries for you sits in your 7th house. So this is your house of intimate relationships, your house of romantic or marriage contracts. This is your house of business partners. So this could be, you could be reevaluating a lot of things that are occurring within your 7th house area, right? So this could, like I said, business contracts, business partners, romantic, long-term romantic partners, or even marriage contracts, things of that nature. But a lot of fear, worry, and anxiety, a lot of things keeping you up at night. Here in the third week, Saturn's going to go retrograde, and then that is happening on the 13th. And then Mercury, the planet of thoughts, ideas, communication, and messages, is going retrograde within the sign of Leo. So there's a lot of retrograde energy that is occurring here in the third week. And it's, again, I really feel like with all of these thoughts, a lot of this being in your head, you need to, I think, push away all of the distractions and really sit with yourself. Why am I feeling this way? What am I afraid of? What changes am I experiencing? Anytime we are on the precipice of change, anytime we experience change, it tends to stir up a lot of fear. Okay. Here in the third week, it looks like as if you are able to go with the flow, reflect on your truth, sit with yourself. Here in the last week, you could have a breakthrough here with the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands, aces are beginnings or new opportunities. And the wands represent creation. It represents physical attraction. It represents building something, like we think of sticks or like a log cabin. And then it also represents growth. Okay. So this could be a new beginning for growth. Okay. Especially, like I said, with Uranus hitting your 9th house, This could definitely be a profound awakening moment for you. This is the week that Leo season begins. Leo is a fire sign. It is a fixed fire sign. So it's kind of, it's fixed in how it feels. It's fixed in how it shows up. It's a little reluctant to change, but it is bold, courageous, noble. It represents the heart, and it's ruled by the sun. So these areas and these themes will take center stage for the next several weeks. If you know a Leo, you better go ahead and wish them happy Leo season, because if you don't, they will remind you to do so. On the 24th, we have a new moon occurring within the sign of Leo. New moons are a new opportunity, a new beginning to set intentions or even have manifestations. And for you guys, Leo sits in your 11th house. The 11th house represents your hopes and dreams. It represents your aspirations for the future. It represents your social circles, like close friendships, local neighborhood communities, things of that nature. It also, actually, no, I was going to say the 9th house. The 9th house is humanitarianism, I believe. But the 11th house, we have a new moon and a new opportunity to set intentions, maybe around what you want for the future. On the 30th, Chiron, the wounded healer, is going to go retrograde within the sign of Aries. Aries is the I am. So with Chiron being in retrograde, probably the last 5 or 6 years, Chiron is a generational placement because it takes so long to get through a sign. But with Chiron being retrograde or being within the sign of Aries, this is like the wounded warrior. This is the wounded sense of self, even. So it could be having us reevaluate wounds that may be coming up for us. On the 31st, Venus, your ruling planet, is going to move into the sign of Cancer. So we could become more protective of those that we love. Cancer sits in your 10th house, so you could see a boost in your career, an opportunity for growth and something new. But Venus could make you a little bit more protective around the things that you love and you value. Venus in Cancer, yeah, is going to make you more protective. And then on the 31st, we experience a Mercury cazimi. So a cazimi happens anytime we have a planet that comes into extremely close contact or close proximity to the sun. The sun will amplify any traits going on with that planet. Mercury is messages, thoughts, ideas, and communications. So the Mercury cazimi could actually spark, the sun is going to amplify this, but remember, Mercury is retrograde. So this energy is going to be inward, which again kind of falls in line with the Ace of Wands, that there's a new opportunity for growth that is presenting itself. So let's see what else we need to know for the month. Here in the first week, the Six of Swords, the Page of Wands, and the Seven of Swords. So pages are messengers of the tarot, and they are also apprentices. The Seven of Swords can represent deception. If you are having to move on or reflect on your truth, it could be because there's a lack of awareness here, right? The page is here with this umph, this angst, this energy to move forward, but it's almost like there's this lack of clarity on where to go. You think you know where you want to go, but maybe that's not exactly true. Here with the Seven of Swords, again, Gemini is activating your 9th house. This is higher learning. This is learning something new. This is long distance travel, right? You could feel like you're ready to move on. You're ready to start something new. You've got this message that just inspires you, but maybe that idea, that's why you need to take a moment to reflect on your truth, because the idea of moving on and starting something new is not necessarily what you think it is. Here in this second week, we have the Tower, the Nine of Cups in reverse, and the Ten of Wands. So the Nine of Cups in reverse represents not really feeling satisfied with where you are, not feeling very satisfied with your emotional situation, right? You're feeling not happy. You're not feeling very happy, and you almost feel like maybe you're not really getting what it is that you want. Okay. And then we have the Ten of Wands. Maybe the realization is that, you know what? I'm not as happy as I thought I was. I am not as present as I thought I was. I'm not feeling as grateful about this opportunity as I thought I was going to be. And maybe you're choosing to walk away from something. Maybe you're choosing to put down this burden of being like, I'm no longer going to feel unhappy. I'm no longer going to feel unhappy with where I am. Okay. I'm trying to see if there are any more messages that are coming through, because this one, quite frankly, feels a little incomplete. It's almost like this sudden urge to do away with all of the things that make you unhappy. And I keep imagining, like, if there's a lot of clutter in your physical home, because like I said, the full moon in Capricorn sits in your fourth house. And so I keep imagining if there's a lot of clutter in your home, you're just like, you know what, I am done with this. And you start throwing things away, right? It could just be this burst of energy to be like, I am done with all of these things. They don't make me happy. They've become a burden. I'm done. I'm clearing it all out, especially with the full moon, like I said, hitting your fourth house. That's definitely what I'm getting here in this fourth or the second week. Here in the third week, the Nine of Swords, the Empress. Maybe need to take some time to nurture yourself. And the Knight of Coins. It's time to take things slowly, right? There's a lot of worry. There's a lot of fear. Like I said, maybe you're having some sleepless nights. You're having a hard time sleeping. Whatever it is, I think you needed to make your next steps, take them very, very slow, and focus on nurturing yourself like you're coming into a new cycle. The Empress births a new cycle. She births creation. And when that happens energetically, it can really exhaust us physically. Okay, so take things slow. Be mindful of what you're spending with the Knight of Coins, but overall be intentional with what you're investing your time, your energy into. Just take it easy on your physical body, your physical health. Make sure you're getting plenty of water, plenty of sleep. Okay. Here in the fourth week, the Ace of Wands, the Queen of Cups, beautiful. Two cards that represent intuition, and the Ace of Cups. So here in with the new moon in Leo, going through this very reflective state, going through this decluttering state, kind of like this sense of stripping away all that you have been, is opening up this window for you to experience inspiration and growth, for you to be a healing and nurturing space. It feels like for yourself, but it can also be for others. And then also create this new opportunity for love and fulfillment with the Ace of Cups, this new opportunity for even inner peace, which is really, really beautiful, especially given all of the angst and anxiety and change that's occurring here in the first several weeks. That last week is going to feel like a breath of fresh air. But these retrogrades are hitting you in a way where it's kind of, they're inviting you. It doesn't feel forced. It's more like an open invitation to really reevaluate who you want this new version of yourself to be. Who do you want to be in this new version of yourself? Here in the first week, decluttering, throwing away, moving on, like, again, taking on this like inspiration with the Page of Wands to just be like, I am moving on from all these things. I am moving on from all of it, because there's something, and even with you guys, Libra with the tendency to people please, you could be wearing this false mask, right? With the Seven of Swords, you could be hiding who you really are. And maybe you've received this inspiration to be like, I am no longer going to worry about what anyone thinks of me. And you begin to declutter your life of fears, of worries, of stories that you tell yourself. You begin on reflecting, you're starting to reflect on what you truly want for you and who you really are. Create and progress. Create and progress. Again, this is also card number 4. This is your house. This is your physical home. This feels like the energy of the inner reality creates the outer form. So the whole idea of decluttering within, you're probably also going to get this inclination to literally start cleaning out everything physically, so that you have space to create, because the week before leads into the next week. And if we've got creation here, we have creation here. You cannot birth a new cycle for yourself. You cannot receive truth if there is no room. If there's no room to put it, you can't receive it. Okay? Be authentic. Wasn't I just talking about that? And this is your 11th house. Stepping into like Mercury going retrograde. The 11th house rules authenticity because it's traditionally governed by Aquarius. Be this authentic person. Take off the mask. The Seven of Swords. Take off the mask. Stop hiding who you are. And step out into the world as this new person. Like I said, take things slow. Do it one thing at a time. But eventually you're going to get more and more comfortable, and you're going to see who is for you and who isn't. This ship has sailed. Like, you are pulling that anchor up and you are letting that past, that shadow, move on. And you are no longer going to stay there. You're no longer going to stay there, because here in this week, you're like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done pretending to be someone that I'm not. I am done keeping all of these things from the past who represent a past version of myself, that represent who I used to be, that represent who people wanted me to be. I am done with all of it. I am moving on to this space where I am embracing my authenticity. I am becoming this newer, evolved version of myself. And as a result, I am letting everything from the past go. So this is a very beautiful reading. It's a very powerful reading. This feels like a huge amount of growth that is about to happen for you. And I absolutely love that for you. So I hope you guys have an incredible month, and we will see you next time.